Hi friends, today I shall illustrate the preparation of trading and profit and loss account and balance sheet from a given trial balance. Trial balance simply means a statement which contains all the account balances on the date of its preparation. Therefore, two separate amount columns are provided in the trial balance. One to record the debit balances, another to record the credit balances. The debit balances includes debit balances includes number one, expenses and losses. Expenses and losses. Number two, assets. Number three, drawings. The debit balances which are given in the debit column of a trial balance usually represents expenses and losses, which are of two types, namely direct and indirect. Direct and indirect. Then assets are of two types, namely current assets and fixed assets. Then drawings. What is the drawings? Money or any variables taken by the trader from the business for his own personal purpose is called drawings. Whenever there is drawings, the claim of the owner over the business reduces to that much extent. That means the amount of drawings must be adjusted against his claim represented by capital. Then the credit balances includes. Credit balances includes number one, incomes and gains. Incomes and gains. Number two, liability. Liability. Number three, capital. Incomes again are of two types, namely direct and indirect. Direct and indirect. The most prominent direct income of a trading concern is sales. Other incomes are termed as indirect incomes. The liability are of two types. They are current liability and long-term liability. Long-term liability. Here, this much information is vital for preparing the trading and profit and loss account and balance sheet, because the direct expenses will be taken in the trading account while indirect expenses will be taken in the profit and loss account. Current assets are listed first in the balance sheet, followed by fixed assets if we are following the liquidity order of arrangement. Then drawings. Then direct income represented by sales will be credited in the trading account, while other incomes, that is indirect incomes, will be taken on the credit side of the profit and loss account. And as regards liability, the current liabilities will be listed first, followed by long-term liability, and finally by the most permanent liability of capital. And awareness of the division into these categories are essential to decide whether a particular item is to be taken in the trading account, in the profit and loss account, or in the balance sheet. After that, on which side it is to be taken? Let us work out this particular question where we are provided with a completed trial balance where from we are required to prepare trading and profit and loss account and balance sheet. The first one is trading and profit and loss account. Trading and profit and loss account for the year ended. For the year ended 31st December 2008. We have already studied that the trading account will be started with the opening stock. But here in this question, there is no opening stock. So, you need not write that item in the trading account. The next item is purchases. Two purchases. Purchases means the net purchases. Net purchases is equal to total purchases minus purchases returns. Here the total purchases given in the question is 88,550. Out of which we have to subtract purchases returns if any. Here two returns are given. One in the debit column, another in the credit column. Purchases represents a debit balance. If so, purchases returns is in the opposite direction. That means it will show a credit balance. Hence, rupees 1,000 here represents purchases returns or returns outwards. It must be subtracted. Less returns. Less returns 1,000. The remaining figure 87,550. Purchases power. Then you have to refer whether there is any direct expenses. From the given items, we can see that the direct expenses constitute freight, carriage and wages. Here freight is a direct expense. It can be debited in the trading account. Freight 19,110. Then capital and drawings balance sheet items, sales on the credit side of trading account, sundry creditors and bank overdraft balance sheet items, fixed deposit, cash balance, sundry debtors balance sheet items. Next one, carriage. Carriage, if paid for purchases, is a direct expense, and if paid for sales, is an indirect expense. Here it is not clear whether the carriage is paid for purchases or sales. In the absence of specific information, we can assume that it is paid for purchases. On that assumption, it can be taken in the trading account. To carriage. To carriage 1,430. This carriage is also called carriage inwards or carriage on purchases. Any expense paid in connection with the purchase is a direct expense. Here we assume that this carriage is paid in connection with the purchase. So it is debited in the trading account. Next, discount. Discount have two types. Which to be given in the debit column or credit column. If it is given in the debit column, it means a discount allowed. Discount allowed is an indirect item. Then discount, if it is given in the credit column, it means discount received. That means it is an indirect income. If it is given in the debit column, this is an indirect expense. If it is given in the credit column, it is an indirect income to be taken in the profit and loss account. Next, office expenses, indirect item. Then wages, direct expenses. To wages, 26,000. Salaries, indirect expense. Machinery asset, advertisement, indirect expense. Insurance, indirect expense. Land and buildings assets. Printing and stationery, indirect expense. Furniture asset. Returns, returns. This purchase returns is already adjusted against purchases. This sales returns that we have to adjust against the sales. Then on the credit side of the trading account, buy sales. Rupees 1,75,320. 1,75,320. Out of which we have to subtract sales returns. Here returns is given in the debit column to the extent of rupees 2,000. Sales represents a credit balance. Therefore, sales returns will be in the opposite direction, that is debit balance. That is rupees 2,000 less returns 2,000. Then the net sales is 1,73,320. Similar to that of opening balance, there is no closing balance in this question. So you need not write a closing stock on the credit side. Then you just balance the account. Here the credit side is later. The total is 1,73,320 itself. 1,73,320 total. Then balance 39,230. That is the gross profit. It is to be carried down on the debit side and should be brought down in the second part on the credit side by gross profit brought down, that is 39,230. Then indirect incomes, if any, should be added to gross profit, means it should be credited in the P&L account. In this question, there are no indirect income. Therefore, this is the only item, means gross profit is the only item that appears on the credit side of the P&L account. Then it is to be debited with the indirect expenses. Let us consider the indirect expenses. Here discount is given, but conventionally the first item that is taken in the profit and loss account is salaries, if any. Here salaries is given as rupees 13,000. That can be written as the first item in the P&L account. To salary rupees 13,000. Then consider the other items, that is indirect expenses. Other indirect expenses are discount. To discount. Here discount means discount amount. Reason is that it is given as a debit balance. If it is given as a credit balance, it is an indirect income. That is 1,430. 1,430. Then office expenses, indirect income. Office expenses, indirect 7,540. Then machinery asset, advertisement, indirect expenses. To advertisements. To advertisement, 4,550. Then insurance, that is also an indirect expense. To insurance. To insurance 1,000. 40. Then printing and stationery, another item, that is printing and stationery. Printing and stationery. That is rupees 780. Now we have to balance the second part, that is the profit and loss account. Here the credit side is greater, therefore the difference represents a net profit. Then find out the balance. The total here is 39,230. Here also 39,230. Then balance in the account. The difference in the profit and loss account comes rupees 10,890. Since the credit side is greater, the difference is called a net profit, and this net profit belongs to the trader. Therefore, it should be added to the capital account. To net profit transferred to the capital account, that is rupees 10,809. Next, balance sheet. The date as on 31st December 2018. Two sides, left hand side assets, right hand side right hand side assets, left hand side liabilities. Liabilities, amount, rupees, then assets, amount, rupees. Then in the absence of specific instruction, it is better to follow the liquidity order. That means on the asset side, current assets must be listed first, followed by the fixed assets. The most liquid asset is cash balance, cash in hand. That is rupees 260. Next is sundry debtors. Sundry debtors. That is also current asset, 52,000. Then fixed deposits. Fixed deposits. That is the amount which we deposited for a certain period with a bank. That is bank deposit. That is 5,500. 5,500. Then furniture. Fixed assets, furniture, 29,200, 29,200. Next fixed asset is land and buildings, land and buildings. That comes 39,000, 39,000. Another fixed assets given is machinery. Machinery. 19,500. 19,500. Now we have to write the liability side. Here also, if we follow the liquidity order, the current liabilities must be listed first. Here the current liabilities are sundry creditors and bank overdraft. Sundry creditors 65,000 and bank overdraft rupees 10,500. These two items are over. The remaining items are capital and drawings, which are connected with the trader. Capital is the permanent liability to the organization, and whenever there is drawings to that much extent, the liability of the business organization decreases. That means drawings must be deducted from capital in the balance sheet. Simultaneously, there was a profit of rupees 10,890 in the business organization. That belongs to the trader. Therefore, in addition to the capital balance of 65,000, the business unit is bound to pay rupees 10,890 to the trader. Hence, to that much extent, the capital balance should increase. Hence, we can write here capital, the given amount 65,000, and it is enhanced by the net profit, that is net profit, and net profit 10,890, that means 75,890, out of which drawings should be subtracted, less drawings rupees 2,930, the net figure is 72,960. Then you just find out the total on both the sides of the balance sheet. That means the total, like this side is 1,45,460. Then on the other side also, we have to get the very same figure. Let us verify. We got the very same figure, that is 1,45,460.